Awesome. Well, let's jump right in. Super excited to have you guys. My name is Tony Roy. I'm one of the founders here at Popmenu. You might have attended some webinars in the past. If so, you know we're not overly formal here. We love some discussion, and we're going to bring the passion, if nothing else. So, got some esteemed guests with us today. Adrian from DoorDash Drive is here to share some great knowledge with everybody and help people understand just how powerful DoorDash can be for their business. And of course, the great Eric up in Providence. If you haven't been up there and you find yourself in Providence, check out his spot. His menu looks delightful online, and I heard nothing but great things. So I'm going to swing by and check it out when I'm up there. So excited to have these gents joining me today, and hopefully they'll be talking more than me as we get going. So thanks for being here. And I think it's always great to hear from category leaders like DoorDash, and equally or more so important, hearing from one of your peers who's going through the daily challenges that many of you are facing. And so Eric's been a great customer, and he's going to share some great stuff with you guys here today. So let's jump right in. We do surveys, nationwide surveys, and so over 1,000 U.S. consumers have told us that 30% of consumer food budgets are spent on restaurants. And while that's a solid number, that is down from the last time we ran our survey in 2022. And so my first question is for the operator and Eric. And I know Eric is constantly doing a lot of stuff, a lot of best practice we can learn from. But Eric, just generally, are you seeing shifts in demand, at least for your restaurant, or from what you hear from peers in your local area? Are you having to compete harder today to make sure you're one of those restaurants that folks choose, whether to dine in or order from? I'd love to get some insight from you.
Well, I think for our area, we're kind of the odd man out in that we're busier than we've ever been. We're beating our best year already, which was 2019, and we've built back from our closure from COVID. And I'd have to attribute a lot of it to our switch to the online ordering with Popmenu and the ease of use integrating with Drive. It makes our customers, it's kind of seamless for them. It's, click, order, and, we'll let you know when it's either on the way or ready for you to come down and grab. I know that due to a lot of other circumstances in the area, there was a bridge that almost collapsed and shortened up the lanes on 195. I have a lot of friends who have taken a hit this year, but, for us, it's been gangbusters. We're right in the heart of downtown Providence, and everybody's coming back to work, and most of them are coming back full time. And because we're here and we put out a consistent and quality product, we're thriving.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some marketing strategies here in a bit, because I think Eric has done a great job of making sure that his brand is out there consistently, and I'm certainly confident that's one of the factors that's having seen the business bounce back, which is awesome to hear. Another survey, nearly just over 3/4 of consumers order takeout or delivery at least once a week. Obviously, in a post-COVID world, people have understood the luxuries of that and have taken advantage of that. I have a question for Adrian. Adrian, over at DoorDash, what trends are you guys seeing for online ordering when it comes to y'all's perspective?
Yeah, so based on our most recent restaurant online ordering survey, we found that consumers today are looking for rich experiences, whether they're out and about or at home. And I have a couple of great data points to share. So first, diners prefer to order from local restaurants. 1/3 of consumers actively seek out local restaurants when ordering food for takeout or delivery. And the menu selection continues to be the number one reason why they choose to try a new restaurant. Also, repeat restaurant delivery orders have become a weekly habit for Americans. Nearly half of consumers report ordering repeat restaurant delivery orders at least once a week. And people are also creatures of habit. 56% of consumers choose restaurants they visit often when they order delivery or takeout. And nearly 3/4, I believe it was 74% of consumers, reported using restaurant delivery for last minute needs. So consumers want to cut out stress wherever they can and know that every dollar they spend will be worth it.
Awesome. That's great insight. I love the fact that you talked about menu selection. Obviously, at Popmenu, when we founded the company, the real genesis of the idea was that the menu is the primary decision point for guests. Both new guests and return guests. They want to know what you have, if they're going to enjoy it, what are the specials, what's changed. And so it's good to see that that's consistent across the board. We've obviously proven that out over the last 7.5 years, but really focusing and optimizing your menu experience, whether it's on your site or whether it's through a partnership like DoorDash, can help you stand out and influence the purchase pattern and gain that, acquire those guests and get them to be repeat customers. So which is awesome. So awesome. Well, what we're going to cover today is one, how can AI and automation help you elevate basically your exposure so that not only do you acquire more customers, but you can get them to come back more consistently, more abundantly over time. I think as Eric alluded to, making sure that your name is out there is a big factor. I'll talk a lot about how marketing your brand not just helps you drive more people to your site directly, where it can also help drive first party orders, but it also influences and just creates this brand awareness so that when I'm on DoorDash or wherever I'm at and I see that restaurant, again, I have some association and familiarity with it, so I end up choosing that. So I think there's a lot of crossover there with why marketing is really important. Secondly, how to multiply online orders with just some best practice. I'm sure everybody's looking to see, hey, what's working for other people out there? How can I replicate that with my business in my market? So we'll cover that. And lastly, how do we instantly build or expand your delivery fleet without having to manage any employees, which I think sounds pretty tasty off the top, right? Like labor is never easy in this business. So I want to show you how to do that. Let's start off with a poll. Basically, what are your biggest barriers to bringing in more guests? You see the options here. I don't have enough staff. I don't have time for marketing. I don't have the budget. My website's underperforming. I'm not sure what to include. We'll probably get a wide range of responses here, but share some of those results and you can see it there. So the biggest ones being, I don't have the budget for marketing. I think there's some great things we'll share here today that will help you understand that effectively marketing your restaurant and creating that brand awareness doesn't have to be incredibly expensive. You can leverage partners like DoorDash, obviously things related to your site directly, your business, the menu, all that kind of stuff. And then secondly, or the most chosen one here is I'm not sure what to include in my marketing messages. That is very consistent. When we sign up new customers, one of the biggest delays when we have them is the customer overthinking about trying to come up with a perfect message, the perfect copy. And what we try and explain to them is the most important thing is consistency, getting that market out there. There's also some great tools that now know about your business and will be able to help you do things much faster at a fraction of the historical cost. And so I'm excited to share those results with you. So common marketing myths. I think this is a big one. Just like we saw in the survey, marketing content has to be perfect. That is false. Nobody's going to have perfect messages all the time. Too many times we see people thinking it, and ultimately what they don't do is communicate through social or email or text or what have you, and nothing happens for 4 days. That is far worse than sending out a message that you think is not perfect. So that's the biggest myth I tell everybody. Nobody's perfect. Consumers don't expect you to be perfect. They love the consistency. They love the effort. They love any creativity that you have. I think that's really important to understand. Secondly, effective marketing requires a big budget. Again, that's false. I think one thing we set out for when we started Popmenu was to help people understand great technology doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to take up a lot of your time in order for it to be effective, whether you're talking about your website, your menu, your social or your email campaigns, all that stuff. And we're gonna disprove some of those things for you here today. Marketing requires a lot of time. If you don't have a partner or tools that offer automation where you can set some rules and things happen automatically for you based on a consumer interaction, something of that nature, then it is going to require more time than you likely have. Leaning into tools that have automation, leaning into understanding more about AI, all those things are going to help you move much faster and basically take up a lot less time. Let's talk a little bit about Ocean State. So Eric's spot here, I'm getting hungry just looking at it. But you can see here that a couple things with Eric's are, one, it's very visual. When we started out again with Popmenu, one of the things that really drove us was the menu's the primary decision point. Why in the world is it still static text or a PDF file? Visual content, food pictures, are the most common thing share it across social and text messages. People eat with their eyes. And so you could see here in Eric's social activity that that's front and center. The product is front and center, and that's really stealing the show. So again, you don't have to worry about perfect copy, perfect thing to write. Allow the food to speak for you, and then you can complement that with some great copy. But Eric, question for you, Eric.
Yeah.
You do a great job showcasing your food on social media. I think I also saw a couple celebrity comedians or other popular memes that have had tell us a little bit about your approach, because I think it's unique, and I love that, because I think in this day and age with AI and other stuff, I think it's really important to be original content and have a unique voice out there. So maybe you can share with people your approach that they can learn from.
So, I mean, as far as the food shots go, everybody knows people eat with their eyes first, and it's got to look the same when they get it as as what they see on the site. So you can't McDonald's up your pictures. As far as the rest go, people, aside from the food content, we like to just have fun. People like to see that the staff or the ownership are having a good time. Some of my best responses to my social posts are the ones where I embarrass the hell out of myself. It's fun, it's different, it gets eyes on it, it gets actual reactions rather than just likes, it gets comments. And then, I grew up, listening to stand-up comedy. I've always gone to stand-up comedy shows, and we're one of the sponsors of a local comedy festival that's put on twice a year. Because of that, I've made some connections in that world, and I'm not afraid to just reach out. If I see that a comic is coming to town and maybe I have tickets, maybe I don't, I reach out to them. Or I've gone so far as I develop specials based off of what their most recent special they've put out. Call it same name, call it something similar. The first big one was Bert Kreischer. He was coming to town, I bought tickets, and then we did a special called The Birdie Boy, and that was the name of the tour. And, DM'd and tagged him in every post promoting the special before the show. And the next thing you know, I've got him and 3 other comics and a camera crew rolling in here. And, they had a great time. So I keep doing it. And if they come in, great. Most recently, we had guys from a podcast called Are You Garbage? And me and one of my guys were going to the show. We developed a special for them, and they said, "Oh, we're not going to make it in. We can't have them." Well, I went the extra mile and came to the shop an hour before the show, made a half a dozen of the specials, pressed them, and brought them to the show. And, that got the 2 of us into the green room. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Have some fun, enjoy it. This business is stressful enough. It can lead to some great experiences.
Yeah, stressful enough, that's for sure. I love it. One of the things that Eric and his team do is they also automate email messages, which is a feature, in our platform. If you're a Popmenu customer on here and you haven't automated that, it's in your email category. You just turn on the automated smart messages. You can customize those as well. But another question for Eric here. So with those automated emails that you've basically set up, they go out based on a specific guest interaction. Someone tells you they love an item or they want to try a dish. The emails that on this slide alone generated over 35,000 in sales. You talked a little about the creativity on some of the social stuff. Are there other things that you're doing just in terms of email, text messaging that are helping you stay in front of people on a more consistent basis without having to dedicate a significant amount of time?
What took me the longest was just setting everything up exactly how I wanted it. And when I had any questions, I was able to go back and forth with folks at Popmenu, and they educated me on exactly how to execute what I wanted to do. We run on slim margins, so you don't want to give away the house, but people like deals. So a birthday message, a thank you for placing an online review. But then also, every day, we change our soups, or we may have a sandwich special going. I take 5 minutes and I create the pop-up for the web page, but I also make sure that the automated email goes out so that people who aren't automatically going to the website and do subscribe, they get whatever we're rocking that day in their email. Makes me happy when I go and look and see all the open rates and the click-throughs, and knowing that people are actually looking at the content, not just crap, delete. or forwarding it to a fake email address.
Yeah. And for people out there, just to kind of explain what's on the screen here, in Eric's tool, he can set up some rules. And again, if you're a Popmenu customer, you have the same capability. So for example, when he creates an announcement, today I was looking at his site, as soon as you go to his site, it pops up and he's talking about today's soups. And so it's the corn chowder, the vegetarian and gluten-free, chipotle, sweet potato, and the blade steak chili. All those sound delish. When he does that, the system is set up so that it's also pushing that information out, for example, via email. And what that's doing is if I open up my email, I see that, I'm thinking, I might, why don't we just order pickup or delivery from Ocean State, And so that's an example. Online order review. Somebody placed an order, hasn't written a review. We miss you is a function. For example, if I typically order from Ocean State and I haven't ordered in say 3 or 4 weeks, the automation can just automatically send a reminder without Eric having to take any time out of his day, remind anybody, or spend an extra penny. Those little touch points create sales opportunities. And so using tools that have automation is really powerful. And again, to go back to the DoorDash thing, if I decide I want to go order delivery and I've gotten a text or an email, and then I go to DoorDash and I see Ocean State, the chances of me choosing that are obviously increased. And then of course they can order Drive directly through the site, which has been great for Eric. So awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Again, another piece of survey data, nearly 80% of restaurant operators are considering AI tools. It's the hot topic of the last year, it feels like. And I will tell you this from my perspective, there's a lot of garbage out there and there's some good stuff out there. I think what Eric talked about before is really, really important. And that's making sure you have real original content. You see a lot of tools out there today. There are certain tools also, for example, front-end website people that, are using AI and they create like a Taco Tuesday post. Well, we had examples that we pulled internally from this somewhat competitor, and they were sending out, and it was 4 different restaurants that all had the exact same message, the exact same fake photo. The problem is if I go and I order from Ocean State or I dine with Ocean State and I see something that's vastly different when I get there, it is going to cause some distrust with consumers. And I do think you have to be careful about that. Again, there are a lot of great tools out there, and I definitely think you need to be learning about this. Whether you choose to turn it on today or invest in a vendor or not, learning about it I think is really important. If you're a small operator, it allows you to move as fast or faster than some of the big regional or national chains. That's just a fact. You can produce more content faster at a fraction of the cost. And I think you have to learn about it. So let's get into it a little bit. I want to show you some of our AI marketing. In fact, I'm going to go into a live version here to explain a little bit about this. What we've done here is we've created a tool that basically creates an entire month's worth of marketing activity for the restaurant. It is pulling stuff that is happening within the site, within the business, right? When we send it, what we've created here is it could be 13 to 14 social posts, 4 or 5 emails, 2 or 3 different texts. We send this to the operator 10 days in advance of the month. So we sent this to this client 10 days before. So basically on July 21st, we sent it. They go down here and now they get to play the role of editor-in-chief. The goal of what our AI marketing calendar is, we know what you need to do to be successful in terms of marketing yourself. We know it needs to be across multiple channels. We also know that we need to take you as far down the field as possible to the 1-inch line so you don't think about writing the perfect copy and then get paralyzed and not do anything. Our job is to say, hey, this is some things that are happening in your business. Here's a social post that we've gone ahead and created with one of your actual dishes, and we've put it here. Now you get to come down and you can choose to edit that photo. You can change the photo, you can change the copy, you can reject it if you don't like it, or you can approve it. Basically, instead of having to think about what to write, take the time to map everything out, which inevitably you don't have enough time to do. This basically allows you, again, to play the role of editor-in-chief. It ensures that content is going out. Maybe you're busy and you forget. Maybe you're on holiday and you don't have somebody else to take care of it. Your restaurant shouldn't suffer and just not have any exposure. And I think that's really important. So I wanted to highlight that this is a feature of ours. And again, you have the opportunity to prove. What's been interesting is that, again, it's pulling original content, things that are actually happening in the business. So it's not fake imagery or things of that nature. What we've seen is this. I'm going to go show you this example. This is a single location. Oh, let me go here. This is a single location Jamaican spot in Virginia. This is just showing their online orders, okay? I want you to tell me when you think they started marketing themselves. It's pretty clear. Now look, this is not our best example. It's not our worst example. It is a very typical example. And we have hundreds and hundreds of people using this faction. If you go back and look at their historical ordering information, and she participated on a past webinar, so I'm happy to bring this up. I've also got more new data on this customer. So if you're on the previous webinar, wait till you see what I show you. But you can see here, their historical online ordering revenue was averaged roughly $2,000 prior to turning on the marketing. They turned it on sort of early February, and all of a sudden they went from $2,000 to $6,300 in online ordering revenue. In March, they did over $16,000. In April, one less day in the month, a little bit of holiday time, they still did over $10,000. In May, they did almost $13,500 just in online ordering. This doesn't even include the impact it has to on-prem or catering and things of that nature. What's really interesting is what happened in June? They forgot to approve everything. They forgot to approve anything. Why? Well, the person that was designated it was on holiday for 2.5 weeks, the husband. I hope he's not in trouble. What else do you see here though? They still did $5,000 in revenue. That is still 2.5 times their historical average. Why? Because April and May, that activity still carried over the impressions. That's what's critical. They turn it back on in July. And again, with 2 days left in the month, they're on pace to do roughly $15,000 in online ordering, simply because they turned on the marketing. That is it. You do not have to have the perfect message. You don't have to worry about, do I do email or social? We've done that for you here. And there are other tools out there that you should explore. I think ours works better because it's, again, pulling original content, because we know the activity that's going on in your site, because you can interact with it and things of that nature. I also want to bring this back to DoorDash, because I can't stress this part enough. DoorDash is a tremendous acquisition channel. It's a tremendous revenue channel. A lot of people say, hey, I want exposure in places like DoorDash so I can find new customers, so I can develop relationships. Great. I'd love to be able to convert them so that they order from me sometimes. Sure, that's natural. But the reality is, when you market yourself, not only are you driving more revenue for your business, but when they see you in places like DoorDash, they are more likely to flock to that, because now they know your brand. It really is that simple. And I think that's an important message that I want to make sure everybody, and one thing I want to highlight here if you look in the title, it says when AI meets brown stew. What was interesting is we had her on a previous webinar, I think a month or two ago, and she talked about how the kitchen came to her one day and said, hey, what's going on? We're selling out of the brown stew. I don't know what brown stew is, but I'm sure it's delish. And she says, I don't know. We don't typically sell a lot of that item. Well, we went and looked, and the AI calendar had produced content that had sent out both a social and an email that contained the brown stew. So it's just a reminder that you can influence what happens in your business. One, the consistency of your marketing just creates that brand awareness. Two, you can market things that are valuable for you, whether it's a high profit item, a signature dish, or things of that nature. The data is very, very clear. There's a direct correlation between marketing your business and having more activity, meaning more transactions, more follower capture, etc. All right, I'm all fired up, and I said I wouldn't get us off track, but I can't help myself. I think everybody knows enough if you've been on a webinar with me. So anyway, let's move on to some of the non-negotiables for online ordering. And so I'm gonna have Adrian chime in here as well. They're obviously experts at that. Some basic things, right? Including dish photos, reviews on your menus. Those are great ways to draw more attention to things that are valuable, things that will convert somebody from looking to actually purchasing. I think that's really key. Obviously, the mobile experience is it's got to be as good as your desktop. Frankly, it has to be better, in my opinion. Integrating with your POS, obviously that doesn't create extra steps. It ensures accuracy. I think those things are key. Obviously, make sure the ordering process is smooth, meaning not a lot of scrolling and text and clicks. And then connecting online ordering to your marketing tools can bring guests back. But Adrian, I know you had some other things that you want to make sure get across, some best practice or recommendations. Maybe you can share some here.
So this one's aligned perfectly with what I'm going to present about Drive. So having great dish photos, as you mentioned at the very beginning, is critical. And the other key thing here is making sure that your POS is integrated. That way you avoid doing manual tasks. everything can run smoothly and automatically. So you said it perfectly. I'd say these 5 ones should be top of mind for everyone on the call.
Yeah, and we're gonna meet Drive here in 1 second, but the other interesting fact that I would tell you is, as we started the business, and I'm sure DoorDash has incredible experience with this, but a lot of people have not invested in photography because historically it's been very expensive. And then if you did invest in that expense, you didn't always have the best way to promote or capitalize on that imagery. People like Popmenu, people like DoorDash have now created what I refer to as a forum to showcase those things better. And even if you don't have a photo for every item, what I always suggest is at least having a few in each category, your appetizers, your entrees, your salads, your desserts, etc. And do your best to highlight the things, again, that are high margin or, pull people in and convert them. I think those are all really important things to think about. I'm going to turn this one over to Adrian. He's the Drive expert, and I know that's a big reason why you guys are here on the call. So Adrian?
Thank you, Tony. So you'll probably know DoorDash Marketplace, but have you heard of Drive? So imagine your restaurant as more than just a place where customers dine in. With DoorDash Drive, your stores now become a hub of efficiency and expansion in this digital age. So when consumers order delivery through your website, they would be tapping into one of DoorDash's most advanced and established products. So by leveraging DoorDash Drive, you would instantly build or expand your delivery fleet without the headache of managing more employees. So this means reaching more customers and reducing in-store crowding without the traditional costs and complexities associated with hiring and managing delivery drivers. So the next slide explains what Drive is. Pretty simple. Drive is an on-demand delivery service. This service seamlessly integrates with your website. So imagine a customer placing an order on your platform. With our integration via Popmenu, that order is swiftly transmitted to the DoorDash Drive system, or if you want to get technical, the DoorDash Drive API. And this triggers a smooth process that ensures a timely delivery. So here's how it works. DoorDash Dispatch receives the order once it's placed on your website. Then we automatically assign a dedicated dasher to pick up the order from your store and deliver it directly to your customer's doorstep. Now, throughout the whole journey, DoorDash keeps your customers informed with real-time updates. This is done via text messages, where they can track the order status, they can see where the driver's location is, they can monitor the estimated delivery time, and pretty much receive confirmations throughout the whole process until they receive the order. So Drive is not just about getting food to customers. It's about navigating the complexities of hiring, training, and managing delivery staff. So we all know that scheduling orders can be daunting, and the costs associated with maintaining an in-house delivery fleet or a team can weigh heavily on operations. But imagine a solution that simplifies all of this. Well, DoorDash Drive is that solution. It empowers you. It empowers you to build and expand your own delivery business with ease. So through Drive, you can offer delivery directly through your own website. It's not the DoorDash Marketplace, it's your website. From small orders to large catering orders, Drive can accommodate all types seamlessly. And what truly sets Drive apart is not only our great quality, but the straightforward pricing structure. It's a flat fee per delivery. There's no sign up or subscription fees, and all tips given by the customers 100% go directly to the dashers. So again, the integration, effortless, super simple. And this is thanks to our direct integration or connection with Popmenu. This pretty much ensures there's a seamless online ordering experience for your customers. Our logistics platform guarantees, I can say this, an unmatched speed and reliability for every single delivery on your website. And this speed and consistency of your Drive deliveries is unmatched because it leverages the scale of DoorDash. We have a national network of over 7 million dashers. So we truly stand behind our posture of saying that we do have unmatched coverage and reliability across the country. So what better way to understand the benefits of using Drive than with a real life case. So, Eric, you've had a lot of success with DoorDash Drive. Can you talk about your experience implementing the solution and the results you've seen?
Well, implementing was easy. It was, do you want this feature on Popmenu? And we were coming out of COVID. We knew that those kind of deliveries were necessary, but we had 3 different tablets on the counter, all making different noises, all getting mixed up. We didn't know who was who and who was picking up what. And then on top of that, the commission. That was the one that really got us in, was the no commission. It's just a flat fee per order. And yes, that's charged to us, the business, but the option is there to pass along some of it, all of it, none of it to the customer. The way I have it set up right now is, unless your order is over $75, you're going to pay the full delivery fee. So the person who wants, a single sandwich delivered to them a quarter of a mile down the street is going to pay the extra money, and people are willing to do it. People pay for convenience. That was like I said, that was the big deal for us, and people appreciate it. We had only a couple hiccups here or there. We had a flood, and one of the drivers couldn't get to a location and called but they were kind enough to call the customer, and they met halfway in the middle between in the puddle. Yeah, it's the integration, like I said, is very, very seamless, and it takes away that kind of gut-wrenching feeling of the high commissions that some of the other providers charge.
Absolutely. It makes it easier for everyone, and it's such a simple way of expanding your customer base. Super simple, easy to implement, and you will untap a market that you might not even think you could tap.
Yeah. I think, first of all, just to chime in, I think it's a easy way to start learning about it. If for some reason you have not integrated this yet, or have limited experience with DoorDash or just delivery in general, I think it's a phenomenal way to start learning and benefiting, and then you can figure out how much bigger the delivery aspect of your business can be moving forward. So also you can go to Ocean State Sandwich and go click on their site, click on their online ordering, and you'll see how the box pops up and promotes the delivery option there for Eric and his team. Hattie B's, some hot chicken.
Yes, here's another success story. Hattie B's faced a challenge, a pretty relatable challenge. They had long lines out the door, and they had a growing demand for delivery services. So they turned to us to Drive with a pretty important commitment. They wanted to maintain their brand experience. So as you can see on your screen, the results speak for themselves. Drive orders have boosted Hattie B's revenue by 5 to 10%, raised even higher during promotions. The average check sizes for DoorDash Drive orders are between 22 to 30% higher. This really shows the value of reaching customers directly through your website, which is their preferred channel. So in the words of Brian, who is Hattie B's executive chef, using DoorDash Drive isn't just about enhancing the guest experience, but it's also about achieving measurable financial success and growing your business sustainably. So DoorDash Drive isn't just about delivering food. It's about delivering results to your customers. It's about seizing the opportunity to grow your business, to untap a network that extends your reach far beyond the physical location of your stores. It's about embracing innovation to meet the demands of today's digital consumer seamlessly with the help of the largest delivery service provider of the market, which is DoorDash.
Awesome. Hopefully you guys got some good takeaways. I thought there's some great nuggets in both of those slides. So a couple key takeaways. One, be consistent in the marketing, get personal when you can, leverage some tools that will help you move faster. Don't be paralyzed by writing the perfect mega. The most important thing by far is just the consistency of getting your brand out there. Hopefully we've shown you some best practices and some tips to do that, as well as a tool within the Popmenu platform that allows you to do that really, really well. If you're interested in that, obviously ping us and we'll make sure someone calls you right away. We'll probably give you some special love for participating and do some things with DoorDash as well. Automate wherever you can. Obviously in the Popmenu platform, there's a lot of ways you can turn on some tools that go out automatically It's a great way to make sure the basics are always getting covered without you having to spend any more capital, any more time, or remember to do it. And then the third one here is open up new revenue opportunities for online ordering and delivery. I continue to say, acquiring a follower. We talk about that a lot. When you hear people say, hey, I'm going to help you build up a community of followers for your business, that is not just an email. Because you're capturing an email and ways to communicate, what you're really capturing is I've captured Eric. Now I know who Eric is. Eric's going to come back because I'm marketing to him consistently and in a personal manner. Eric's going to come back 10 times this year instead of 3. Eric's going to refer multiple people by bringing people with him or ordering delivery with him and his friends when they're watching the game. He's going to bring me an extra 4 or 5 consumers in the next 6 to 8 months. And 1 or 2 of those people is going to do a catering gig every 18 months. The value of capturing an Eric is not just his email. It's like $648. You could do the math for yourself, but that's how I would think about it. That's why I would make sure that throughout your digital presence, that you're finding ways to capture people, make yourself available to them, make it easy to capture them, and build up a profile that allows you to market to them in a way that you know is going to be successful. I can't stress that enough. That is huge.
Just put it out there. It's not all, not everything is going to hit. Not everything is going to get you hundreds of likes or thousands of views. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. You'll learn, and it doesn't take a lot of time. I learned how to do all the the automated email stuff when I was done for the day, sitting at home, had a beer, sat on my couch, and just played around. And then once I was ready, I turned on what I wanted to turn on. I gave the deals that I wanted to give. And I don't know what types of places everybody that is on this webinar is running, but just take a shot. You never know what's going to happen. It could be huge. You could go viral for something, and play around with it.
But when we started Popmenu, we started with the belief that the menu was the primary decision point and that's where people should be investing. When we got into the business, we had underestimated how fragmented it was. We didn't realize that people had made technology a lot more complex, time-consuming, and expensive than it really needed to be. And unfortunately, I don't think every company out there shares that same passion or helping restaurants and giving them power back. So when we partner with people like DoorDash, it's really important that they share the same ethos that we have. And I do believe, after spending a lot more time with DoorDash, that they're very similar to us in terms of their commitment to helping the restaurant owner. When you get past some of the stuff in the past you might read, when you start to learn more, you got to dive into the data. The reality is, things like DoorDash Drive are a great way to extend your audience, a great way to acquire new customers, and a great way to drive revenue for your business. So hopefully the two of us can help you guys. If you're an existing Popmenu customer, we appreciate your business. And if you're not using the AI marketing, that's a great way for you to start. And obviously, we're happy to work with DoorDash to get that stuff set up for you very, very quickly. That was all we had. We appreciate the time. Special thanks to Adrian and Eric for sharing their knowledge. I thought that was great. We'll have a follow-up goes out, and we'll include some contact information in case you have questions for any of the parties. And of course, if you're in Providence, give our guy Eric a visit. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Awesome.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the week.